Hi, and welcome to Lippy Presents Ghost News Network. Today is our paranormal news and discussion. Willie, what do you got for us?
Alright, so there's a demon house in Pittsburg, Pennsylvania. There's an extensive background to it, but I'll give the Cliff Notes version. It's on Brownsville Road, so it's commonly referred to as the Brownsville Demon House. Supposedly it was built on the site of a speculated Native American massacre where they massacred a bunch of white settlers in the 1700s. In 1909, supposedly a worker that built the house placed a curse on the house and the inhabitants because the owner owed him money and because he was jealous of the owner's wife. It was in the 40s. It was owned by an alcoholic doctor, and he used one of the rooms for illegal abortions, late-term abortions. So that's kind of the Cliff Notes of the background. They have claims of, or they come home to the people that live there now. Come home to the house in disarray with cabinets open, stuff smashed on the floor, lights on, water on. They witnessed blood dripping from the walls and down the steps. They hear footsteps and banging in the hallways. In 2005, they called Paranormal State, and Paranormal State came and investigated it. There have been metal crucifixes bent in half. The inhabitants have had scratches on their neck and in the middle of the chest, always with 3 scratches. The boy of the family, like the young boy, they would all sleep with crosses, but the young boy would have his cross removed off of his neck throughout the middle of the night and bent. There's more claims, but that's most of them. I have the update on the house now, but I'll save that till after we're done analyzing it.
So, putting the demonic aspect aside, there's a lot going on there. Prehistory you're talking about.
That's not even all of it.
You have, the whole white settlers being massacred there. I can care less about the curse. That's irrelevant to me. The abortions that took place, you have, that type of energy. All that there isn't going to come out good. Does it make it demonic? No. Bent crosses. That's where you can lead. Okay, the blood on the walls running down. I have a very hard time believing that. I really do. When did that happen, approximately?
There were claims of it running down the walls before they called Paranormal State, and then apparently, and this is kind of hazy in the article I read, but Paranormal State witnessed it coming down the steps.
So you're talking about 2005. So cell phones were not video, but people had video cameras. If it's something that's occurring, you would video it. If there's no video of it, then to me it never happened. As far as the crosses go, once again, it's the same thing. I mean, depending on what the cross is made out of, if it's a cheaper cross, depending on how big it is, you're wearing it when you sleep, you wake up, it's bent. It's physics. It's not a brain surgery here. You can sleep wrong on it, turn wrong, and it bends. You can have shit material. Where are they? Did they keep the crosses? Did they throw them out? Did they throw them out? Why?
I don't know. There are pictures that exist of the crosses.
I can take a picture of that cross.
Exactly.
Any of us can. I don't know. To me,
I'll remember to move the needle nose pliers.
It's almost like you have the storyline. You have a lot of crazy shit that happened, and that's not being taken away. Why do you got to draw demonics into it? I feel like it's not necessary. Demonic. I feel like
maybe it's
what you have there is enough. Good enough. Leave it at that. It doesn't have to be demonic, but now you're almost asking for it. In a way, I don't know.
I will say this.
I don't buy it.
I will say this in terms of the bleeding. I had a leak in my roof in my master bedroom when I first bought this house. And I had drop ceiling. And the way it was leaking, it appeared as if there was blood on my drop ceiling.
There was.
Why is that? And at first I thought, shit, maybe there's a mouse in the house and it just gave birth over my thing because it was like a spot of red.
That's gross.
I pulled the whole thing down. Turns out, when dirt mixes with the pink of the house insulation, it gives you that reddish vibe. You know, you've got rusty pipes. When rusty pipes meet and they come through, you know, me and Mike did an emergency on a Tuesday night where a person was saying they were having demons in their house. We dropped everything we were doing. It was a house, I think, around Konkoma. We went straight over there. It was like 6:15. We were like, let's go. We checked this place out.
Because there was a kid involved.
There was a kid involved. There was a child involved. And when there's a child involved, we don't mess around. We'll take the time. We'll, you know, whatever. And they were saying their mirrors were crying or
Yeah, like
whatever.
there was a clear liquid coming out of their
mirrors.
Like, literally, there's a child's bedroom, and the entire like one wall was all mirrors.
Mold,
All
too.
mirrors. It was all mirrors.
Mold.
So
But the mirrors, yeah, they were leaking because they were old mirrors, and old mirrors, the backing of silver tends to run after a certain period of time, and it gives that wet type look.
it was the look. I remember,
Right.
I remember the look, and I remember walking into the kid's room, and it reeked of ammonia.
Yeah.
Okay. They had cats. They said, I remember their rug in the kitchen, water would come up from underneath.
Yeah,
your
remember
stomach in
they
a
did
water
that
spot.
too while we were there.
I did a test, and I took a spray ammonia. I mixed it with water. I sprayed a mirror, and it looks the exact same. It looks the exact same. So you can keep
Yeah.
going if you want to finish your story of
Yeah.
what we think was really happening.
Well, we think it was just BS. I mean,
So-
in a nutshell.
Do you think she was spraying them?
You have a
or do you
mother, a
think she-
father, and a child. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And the father, here's the crazy thing. Because of all this stuff that's happening, the father was staying in a hotel room. Mother and child were left at home.
Right.
What father would do that? Number one, that's pretty
Never.
clear. So automatically, and then what was we should have called social service. What we should have done, because like, damn, the child is in a pretty shitty environment. You had. I think it was a lot more to it, where it was the mother crying out for help because there was family issues going on,
Interesting.
and a lot of that stuff was
All
set up.
all added up to it
And you know,
for attention.
look the ceiling. Look at the water. There's a leak. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
But it was stuff like that, and that's, like I said, I don't know. But that's a prime example,
Yeah. I mean, we've had experiences like that in the past. Is just what I'm drawing from, and I mean, the people that were on Paranormal State, at least at that time, I think were pretty credible. But 2005.
This is the early days.
That was the
This is their
first
early
season. That's their first
yeah.
season.
I think I vaguely remember this
That
episode
was their
too.
first. I feel like I remember. that episode.
And they were pretty credible back then before fame and drugs and insanity started
Is
seeping
this
into the brain.
pre-Zach Bagans? Do you
Oh
remember?
yeah,
Oh,
this is
This
way
is-
oh,
before.
yeah.
Oh, this is way before.
Totally different game.
Yeah.
No. I know, but
yeah.
like,
Yeah, this is before
This
like
story
Ghost
came out
Adventures
This
and
is a
stuff.
year after Ghost Hunters
Yeah,
came out.
okay.
Those adventures came out long after
Yeah.
this.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to.
Yeah. Paranormal State was like the second
Like,
big
not that they're
paranormal
taking his
show that was
story
on.
and like morphing it into their own
No, this
story.
is-
No, this is way before that. This is probably like 3 or 4 years before
Okay.
Yeah.
Ghost Adventures. But I mean, I think they were pretty credible back then. So I think there was definitely something to that house.
Right.
But I also know that the theme of the show was demonic hauntings for the most
I
part.
mean, the claims.
Yeah, and they appear that way.
They're the
Bench
claims.
crosses,
Right.
3 scratches,
The
3
three
whatever.
scratches, to me, the 3 scratches, I could debunk the shit out of that. Because if you go and scratch somebody, there's going to be 3. You're not going to get
You're not gonna get your.
You're
you
not.
might get some of the pinky.
If you're lucky. You
So,
know.
yeah.
But to me, I don't know. Scratching is. But that's. I think we're pretty much on the same page about that one.
So should I go over state of the house now then?
Go
Yeah,
over the
go
state of the house now.
So-
Burnt to the ground.
No. So they called the church shortly after Paranormal State left, and they were doing like blessings and stuff for 2 years, and they were trying to get an exorcism. They never did. So they were working through the Catholic Church, and they never got approved for an exorcism. So they played the Passion of the Christ movie by Mel Gibson for 6 months straight, non-stop.
Hell yeah.
House is cured now.
And the house is fine now. Hasn't been-
And that just goes to show you what we've said in earlier videos, where it's not the book, it's your state of mind that can help fix these situations.
I figured you'd like that.
That's my
I am absolutely blown away.
and the reason why, and the reason why,
Power of
and the reason
We
why,
gotta get rid of the demonic collecting now.
and the reason, just for 6 months, for 6 short months of Passions of the Christ on repeat.
Straight.
Uh,
Non-stop.
months straight, I would go insane.
I think they went insane before they started
I
it.
was gonna say, I think I might go insane just
but-
watching it once.
There's a reason why the Roman Catholic Church didn't approve doing an exorcism on the house. Either they refused to get psychologically evaluated, or they failed said psychological evaluations.
Or they
Because
walked in, they
that's-
didn't feel anything. They were like, yo, this shit's not demonic. It's just not without doing an exorcism. Sorry. I'm not gonna waste time on going to the hierarchy to even come to this bullshit. I'll give
Because
you a blessing.
it's not
I'll
a
do 100
generic
blessings.
it's not a generic priest that comes in. It's not
Right.
it's not your pastor or the father of their church that comes in and does an exorcism.
They never
They
got
get
past
someone
that
special.
point. Yeah, they had the local pastor come in and throw holy
Ever
water
since
around it.
the cases like Emily Rose, where the Vatican got sued because of people dying during exorcisms of possessions and houses and this, that, the other thing, and because of lawsuits, to protect themselves, they started making people get psychologically evaluated. And if you can't pass the psychological evaluation, then why are they doing an exorcism on your house? And unfortunately for some people that just need someone to talk to, not necessarily an exorcism, it kind of stonewalls them, but in this case, they're probably not wrong. So,
I think we just learned that Mel Gibson is more powerful than we think he is.
well, clearly Mel Gibson is
I mean,
more powerful.
I like his movies. He's great in The Patriot. Pretty fun. Good stuff.
Mad Max.
What else?
Anybody have anything you want to add to that? Alright guys, so let us know what you think of that in the comments section below, whatever that was. And if you haven't yet, give this video a like, share, and subscribe. You can also click the little notification bell to know when all of our content is being uploaded to YouTube. So again, thank you guys for joining us on this latest edition of Ghost News Network, and until next time, take care guys.